Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Waterville City Council meeting for Monday, February 26, 2024 to order. And before we begin our meeting, I would ask Mary Duncan, our Vice Mayor, to lead us in the prayer.
Loving God, as we come together tonight for the City of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as servants of your people, we pray that you grant us a share of your wisdom. Amen. I'd also like to take a minute and have everyone just say a prayer for Karina and Matt Flagar and Mindy and Zach. Their son passed away earlier this week, Jordan Flagar. Karina was the executive director at the Chamber for 20 plus years and is, a volunteer to everything that we do here in town. Their family is really hurting, and so just take a minute and say an extra prayer for them. Thank you.
Thank you. I would ask a special guest with us tonight, the Assistant Superintendent of the Anthony Wayne School Board, Kevin Herman, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd ask the clerk to perform roll call.
Mrs. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Growski?
Here.
Mr. Garber?
Here.
Mayor Pedro?
Here.
Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Rosick? Mr. Bruno?
I received a phone call from Council Member John Rosick that he was unable to be here with us tonight. I'd ask for a motion to excuse him.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Second, Tony Garver. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I also received word that Council Member Anthony Bruno is unable to be with us tonight. I would ask for a motion to excuse him tonight.
So moved.
Mary Duncan, need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a very packed meeting tonight. All good, by the way, for our council meeting tonight. And just to have a little bit of fun here, we have our former mayor here today, Lori Brody. It's good to have the former mayor with us tonight. Not only that, but she's also a representative for the Northwest State Auditor's Office. More importantly, a neighbor, a citizen. She's going to stop by and present some information from her office. The good news is we've got a nice report. I did notice, or I asked her earlier, that she's not bringing a check. It's just a proclamation, just a report. But
Darn.
Lori, welcome back.
Thank you. I don't think we do any checks. Does that make you feel better?
Oh, okay. We'll take PayPal or whatever that is.
I am excited to be back here just to see everybody. It's great to be back at a council meeting. But I am here tonight on behalf of State Auditor Keith Faber, and I have been here almost every year, I want to say. Maybe missed one we figured out in 2011, possibly. But I am excited to be here and present the City of Waterville with the Auditor State Award. And it is important to keep noting that this puts the City of Waterville in a very select group. The Auditor's Office audits about 6,000 entities a year. Their schools, cities, villages, counties, anybody that spends taxpayer money. See some of our other people here in the audience. They have to be audited by law. They don't get a choice, so we try to give great customer service. And they get audited every year. But a clean audit is when you have no findings within your financial audit. And only about 8% of our entities out of the 6,000 are even eligible for this award. And the criteria they have to meet, I'll bore you with this really quick, a lot of accounting stuff, but the entity must file their financial report with the state auditor within 150 days fiscal year end. To have a clean audit, you can have no findings for recovery, material citations, material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, single audit findings, or question costs. You also receive a management letter, and you can have no comments related to ethics referrals, question costs less than $10,000, a lack of timely report submission, reconciliation problems, failure to obtain your timely single audit, any findings for recovery less than $100, and you can have no public meetings or public records issues as well. So basically, you cannot have any issues. But I think the award, it actually represents the hard work of everybody in the city and all of the employees who have to strive every day to get everything right. So when it makes its way back to here, that it all is accounted for. But I also want to recognize the mayor and the council and the administrator, because you've done an excellent job accounting for every dollar in the city of Waterville. And I especially always want to recognize our finance director and our treasurers here tonight. Mark Williams, just for an outstanding job for his leadership, professionalism, and commitment. Takes a big commitment to fiscal integrity, and it does help that he used to work for the state auditor's office. He does know what to be on the lookout for. But on behalf of State Auditor Keith Faber, I bring you another award to put on the wall, and I congratulate you, so I wanted to present it to you.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
To your staff, too.
This is John, Jenny,
Shelley.
Shelley, and we're currently absent person.
Oh, sorry.
You need that.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna get your photo. So put your arms up. Makes you look like. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I always look forward to coming back next year. So.
And you know the routine. You can stay or you can leave.
See what we got going on here.
Yeah. But thank you again, and my only comment, and Lori's already said it, it does recognize the staff's excellent record keeping with the council's oversight, and like she said, less than 8% of the entities that are audited have these types of no findings. So thank you, and we appreciate your efforts. Next up, I'm pleased to have with us tonight, as I mentioned earlier, the Anthony Wayne School Board. And I want to go back a little bit because I think it's important to tell a little story. So for the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity at the Chamber of Commerce, usually in January, to give sort of the state of the city message to the Chamber. And usually they talk about what happened in rearview mirror, and a little bit a look ahead. But I always like to include the schools because I think it's a foundation. And I use the example, it's like a three-legged stool. We have the citizens, we have the community, administration here, and then we have the schools. And you need each of them to have a successful city and a successful school system. So anyways, Dr. Hollinger was there that day, and she gave an excellent remark about what the school's doing here locally in Waterville. And then I had an opportunity with a couple of us a few weeks ago to speak to attend a meeting where Dr. Fritz and Kevin spoke to community leaders and ministers with our community about the great things that are going on with our school system. And believe it or not, it's an asset we have. And to have the school system that we do, the kids are so well trained, and obviously a lot of people like to come to our communities, White House, Monclova, the city of Waterville, to have their kids educated by the Anthony Wayne schools. So this is meant to be kind of an update on the great things that are going on in our system. Our administrator, John, and I, on a regular basis, at least once a year, we meet with Dr. Fritz and the treasurer just to keep the lines of communication open. That doesn't mean we don't occasionally have phone calls in between when projects come into our community. And then lastly, why not, I said to myself, why not invite this asset to our community, to our council meeting tonight? So with that, we're happy to have Dr. Fritz and his team members, Rebecca Hicka. How'd I do? It was close. All right. And I said Dr. Hollinger as well, and certainly Kevin Herman and Dr. Fritz. They're going to walk through a little bit about what's going on in our great Anthony Wayne school system. So take it away.
you get to talk too? Wow. I'm so impressed. Of course. It's because she's got the best job.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us tonight. We appreciate the invitation. I do want to make a comment. Congratulations on the audit. That's outstanding. And maybe when we get clean audits, we should get the auditor fees back. Maybe that's a great idea, right? Well, maybe not. I know Laura's like, oh, just stop talking. No, it's outstanding. Congratulations for that. We'd just like to present to you tonight some of the things that are going on in the district. We're very proud of our school district and the relationship that we have with the city of Waterville and all entities within our school district. We also believe that this is a partnership and we need to work together to do what's best for our students, but also our families and our community. So we'd like to share some things that are going on in our district. Ultimately, when we talk to our community members, our parents, our students, we want to know from them what do they believe is great about our school districts. And so, Chloe and Austin, two seniors at the high school, I want to share with you some just brief comments that they shared with us about their opportunities in the building. If I can get this to work, hopefully. So anyway, let me go back to, that's not working for some reason, but let me go back to this. Chloe is our student council president. She spoke to us about the fact that, as she's gone through her classes and she prepares for her next step at the post-secondary level, just the opportunities that she's had throughout her classes to prepare her for what she wants to do. She's kind of uncertain right now, but she feels like as she went through and filled out her applications for college and went through that process and applies for her opportunities to find scholarships and so forth, that we have very much prepared her for those experiences. But also, what she also expresses that for life experiences as well. One of the things we try to do is not only prepare them academically, but try to give them experiences that allow them to grow as individuals within our school. And we'll talk a little bit about what those things are and what that looks like at Anthony Wayne. And I would also say Austin. Austin is trying to get into the Naval Academy. He's in the band. He's in a variety of things. He's in the Waterville Historical Society and comes to Waterville Primary and with some other students. And we got the opportunity, I think, last spring to see him full costume and other students and talking to, was it third grade? Third grade. And talk to them about just the history of Waterville. And I even learned some things from that presentation. So just a great student. But when you talk to him, you hear about his passion for our school district and what it has done for him to prepare him to get some nominations and hopefully get into the Naval Academy. All right. So one of the things that we have done is we try to share some of the highlights throughout the year of great things that are happening in our school district, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But ultimately, as you look at this picture, you see a variety of things, not only from athletics that we have success in, but also in our academics. We're very fortunate to have a great academic program that produces great results. When you look at our current level in the state, we're in the top 7% of all school districts in the state as far as our academic performance. When you look at our individual school buildings, they're also doing extremely well. And I think Jamie maybe will mention that a little bit about Waterville as well. It's just when you think about all the experiences that we're able to provide our students and the success, whether it's in band or FFA and other programs that we have, FCCLA where we're in national competitions and so forth, and students performing individually and getting top awards. You know, there's a variety of experience. It's not just academics that they go through in order to develop those skills so that when they walk across that stage, they're prepared for their next step moving forward. But we have to say thanks. We have to say thanks not only to our parents, to our community, but all entities within this, in the school district, because we're all in this together to help these students to make sure that they're successful once they graduate, to have the skills necessary in order for them to move forward and do what they want to do, whether they want to go off to college, whether they want to go right into employment, whether they want to go into the military, or whatever they choose to do. We want to make sure that they're prepared for that moving forward. I want to turn over to Mr. Herman to speak a little bit here.
I'm just going to share, first of all, what Dr. Fritz said. What we really strive for, and I think that everyone understands and recognizes, is that we have a very strong academic program for our students. And we met as a group of individuals, of all stakeholders. We had about 60 individuals that worked together. That included community members, community leaders. It included staff members, students, administration, teachers, and so forth. And kind of what do we want for our students? And what do we want for our school district? And it came, you know, they clearly said that they really wanted our schools, Anthony Wayne Local Schools, to be among the best, one of the best school districts in the state of Ohio. We believe that that's so important, and we believe that we provide a very, very strong academic program. Like we shared, he shared we are in the top 7% of all school districts in the state of Ohio, which is absolutely amazing. Our 3 primaries, it's within the top 1%, 2%, and 3%. We also have Fallen Timbers Middle School within the top 3%. We have the junior high within the top 11%, and the high school within the top 20%. If you look at that for all of those buildings and look at that percentage, that is remarkable. And we're very, very proud of that. You know, we believe that that strong academic program is extremely important, but we also find that it's really, really important to have our students future ready, okay? And that's what our mission is to prepare our students, just as he said, for what their next steps are in life, to have them prepared for whatever they may choose. We believe that is so much more than an academic program, and that's what we're here to kind of share with you tonight, is a little bit of the some of the stuff that goes on that people do not understand or don't even realize happens behind the scenes. You know, we always have, okay, here's our graduation class. When you see them, you think, okay, of their academics, but a lot of times you don't see everything that's gone into getting them to that point. And really, that's what we're most proud of, is that we are taking all students and we are making sure that no matter what their backgrounds are, that they are able to achieve greatness in what they choose to pursue. You know, and as he shared about Chloe, you know, she was very, very strong in the arts. She was in our drama programs. That's her niche. Okay, Austin, his niche was in the band and leadership. He, you know, has worked with the student council and worked with the National Honor Society, President of National Honor Society, and all these different things for leadership. We try to find so that everyone has a place that they belong and that they're able to excel in that area and you know, kind of follow what their dreams are. So as we talk about what they need to be future ready, the other thing that we did along with this group of 60 was to focus on what they felt, what individuals in business, what you know, people that were going to be hiring these students, higher education, what they felt the characteristics that were needed in order for our students to be prepared for their future. And we came up with our Portrait of a General. These are our competencies for Portrait of a General: a learner's mindset, critical thinking, collaboration and communication, adaptability and flexibility, and empathy. We try to work those competencies into their daily instruction and into their daily lives to have them to be able, when they graduate, they're leaving with these skills as well. We know that it's a big responsibility. We take that responsibility very, very seriously. We're proud of the students that graduate. We're proud of the students that are going through and progressing.
You know, we've always tried to focus a lot on it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to run into roadblocks. It's the perseverance that you show, the things that, and to be able to overcome those obstacles, to be the best person you can be. Because what we want is we want them to be strong individuals to come back to this community and the communities of our school district and support them and be the leaders within them in future years. We just want to share with you, if you really would like to see in depth a lot of what the school's accomplished over the year, each year we do complete a quality profile. You can go onto our website and see that, but it tells really all of the different areas that accomplishments that we've had in all the different areas over the past school year. So with that, one of the biggest areas that we've been able to make a lot of progress in is being able to help families and being able to help students that may be facing some difficulties. We hired a social worker, Rebecca Herka, and I'm going to turn it over to her because she has had a huge impact on what we do as a school district and the services that she's been able to provide and that we've been able to provide the families within our system.
So I'm a recent transplant to Ohio. I moved here from Virginia about a year and a half ago, but I grew up in Michigan, so it's been a really awesome year for me. I got told the last time I talked I shouldn't disclose I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm doing it anyway. So it's been a really, really good year for me. But I bring a unique perspective because I didn't grow up here, so I got to see things with a fresh eye, and it was really neat to see how wonderful the community is here at Anthony Wayne. Not only do I have the privilege of working here, I also have 2 students who attend school here as well, and it's been a really awesome experience for my family to be here. So I thought I would give you all a little overview of what school social work services entail. The first thing that school social workers really look at is called related services. And that's really how do we work with a student in the school community to bring them to their best learning potential. And one of the ways we do that is being that link between home and school. And so an example of that I've had the experience of doing this year is looking at a student who didn't have heat. So I got a phone call, probably the beginning of January, but it was really, really cold. And I had a family who said, you know what, we have a part in our furnace that's broken, we don't have heat, we need some support. And so within 48 hours, the way that our community rallied around, we were able to get the part purchased, the part installed, and that student had heat and was able to attend school within 48 hours time. Another thing that a school social worker does is provide services to students such as crisis intervention. So we have a few students of ours who are identified under the McKinney-Vento law, or students who are homeless. One of those students lives in a shelter in Toledo. So I had the opportunity earlier this year to help navigate TARDA, which was an experience for myself. I had a great partner with Mr. Herman, and at 5:30 in the morning, we were able to drive down to Toledo. We had to go twice because the TARDA app is a liar, and we were able to help navigate from shelter to where the student attended in Penta, so that he was able to get there using public transportation, and we were able to support him along the way. I am also very proud to say that that student has graduated early and is ready to enter the workforce as a new student who's ready to enter the workforce in our community. Another service that we are able to provide, and really I think the biggest and most impactful part of my job, is services to parents and families. I have the ability to be able to go to where that family is at and meet them. We do some home visits, which is a really neat opportunity to be able to provide resources for families. And we had a really awesome experience this year. We held 2 back-to-school bashes, one in the Monclova district and one in the White House district, in 2 of our neighborhoods who have our biggest needs, with a huge amount of community support. I partner with a local food ministry to offer food bags, and I just think it's important to know how our need has changed. The first time they offered food bags, weekend food bags for families, they had about 41. That was 3 years ago, and the number is 132 as of this past Friday. So we've seen our need change a little bit in the community. We've also seen our need change a little bit in the way that our free and reduced lunch numbers look. We are up to 17% free and reduced lunch families, which just tells us there's a bigger need for our community to be able to fill. We provide services to school personnel, so I usually do that through trainings. such as trauma-informed care or trainings on poverty. We are the school and community liaison. So this is my favorite program. It's a program called Neighborhood Bridges that we were able to bring here. It is essentially a platform where families or community members can sign up to be donors. School personnel in the form of nurses, administrators, counselors, and the social worker have the ability to be an advocate. So if there is a student need that we have, we're able to post it on a site. It is sent out at 10:02 in the morning to our email list or our social media list, and then whoever is signed up is able to fulfill that need. This community's response to that has been overwhelming. I usually cannot keep a need up past noon on the day that it is posted, and sometimes we get more than one of the items that we put on there. So we've had to be savvier with the system because we've had such a great return in what we've asked for. So to date, I think the last time we checked, we had 37 open needs that we had filled, and that included taking over the holiday support this year in our community. And then lastly, it's services to districts, so it's working more on that macro level of connecting different agencies. So as you are all aware, we are in Lucas County, even though sometimes some of those services don't remember we're here. So I've worked really hard this year to try to build some connections with our juvenile justice system and children's services so that we are able to have a better working relationship with them. So I am honored to be here and to serve the community of Anthony Wayne, and thank you for letting me share that with you.
Let's give her a round of applause right now.
Thank you so much for letting me talk about one of my favorite things in the world, Waterville Primary and our school district. I'm just going to try to hit some bullet points on some recent events and activities that we've been involved in. I know I gave an update at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, so I'll kind of revisit some of those earlier events that we've held recently. So again, going back to the high rigor, high student outcomes, high expectations for all of our students, but at the same time, opportunities for our students at Waterville Primary. And I can say, I can speak on behalf of the other two primary buildings as well, because we work closely together. So Waterville ranks in the top 3% in the state in regards to student performance. And that would be in English language arts and math, our tested areas at the primary level. Most importantly, we work really hard to proactively meet the needs of all of our students by providing a multisensory curriculum both in reading and math, because we know that not everybody learns the same. We know that students learn at a different pace, and they need different experiences, different opportunities to be exposed to the material. So we have worked really hard, post-COVID especially, to ensure that we've addressed any type of learning regression that we've seen or needs on behalf of our students and also our families. And we've been really creative to do so and make sure that we're meeting each student as an individual and providing what he or she needs to be successful. So Waterville Primary is also a National Blue Ribbon school. We are an Ohio Hall of Fame school. I know I've talked about being a STEAM designated primary building, which is a difficult designation to receive. We're one of the few primary buildings in Ohio who have received that STEAM designation, and I'll kind of revisit that in a little bit. And then really proud of our Purple Star designation. And as soon as that became a designation and something that we could pursue in the state of Ohio, we pursued it. So we've been designated since 2018, and that is to support our military-connected families. Our Purple Star Generals are very active, and I know we have a couple individuals in the audience. Doug's daughter is involved in our Purple Star Generals, and this is a group of students that have parents who are military connected, brothers, sisters, grandparents. We meet almost monthly, sometimes a couple times a month, to just provide support for these students. They serve as advocates and also educators for the rest of our school on what it means to be military connected. the different branches of the military. And then we also participate in service learning opportunities. So not just community service, but our students are learning while we're supporting the different branches of the military actively in the community. Most recently, we were involved with the Folds of Honor House and that whole partnership. We were able to fundraise, and then we purchased the flagpole and flag, and then the flag raising ceremony. Our students did all of the landscaping around it. It was really powerful, and we were able to help a lot of families through Folds of Honor along the way. So that was a really important, I think, a meaningful and authentic way that our students could be involved and understand what it means to be a Purple Star General. In December, Sergeant Major Simmons came and spoke to our Purple Star Generals. He's currently active Army, and the father of a current Waterville student and a student at Fallen Timbers. And he is able to come and visit and speak to our students usually every other year. And you can imagine answering questions for 7 and 8-year-olds for an hour. He's a great sport. And he really focused a lot on all of the different career opportunities that the military provides, because that's not something that a lot of our younger students may necessarily know. So again, kind of that post-graduation, it seems like it's a long ways off, but it isn't. And we want our students to start thinking about opportunities and things that they may want to pursue. And then in March, we have Pete Lapiva and then Michelle Lewis, who is on the board for the Purple Star designation for the state of Ohio. They are coming to hold one of their meetings at the junior high, but that morning they've asked if they can come and visit Waterville, meet all of our Purple Star Generals, and hear about our programming. So we're really proud to say that we will be hosting them in March. And then our STEAM designation, I talk about this a lot because truly it is interdisciplinary, holistic, all-encompassing of so much of what we do at Waterville Primary. And we've also been collaborating with a lot of city council members, chamber members on the upcoming solar eclipse. And so we wanted to make sure that our youth were knowledgeable and understood quite how unique and amazing this opportunity of the solar eclipse that we're living, and we'll get to experience it. So we've been providing all of that background knowledge, making sure that they understand what they're going to be seeing and to wear their solar glasses. And that was our theme for Right to Read Week. So I talked about that a little bit in January. And we partnered with Imagination Station and the Challenger Learning Center at Lake Erie West, and they brought in the big domes, the star labs, and so everyone was able to safely go in and observe the solar eclipse with no glasses on. And then, like I said, we've been working and meeting to make sure that we're able to support anything that the community is doing and continue to share information with our families about the upcoming solar eclipse in April. And then finally pictures, because that's the best part. Again, we appreciate all of the support that the city council members provide us twice a year for our student council induction ceremony. Lori used to come to that too, and now Mayor Pedro. And again, many city council members attend. We invite all of you to be a part of that. It really encourages our student leadership, our fourth graders, and we have two different first semester and a second semester because we really want to increase the number of kids that can experience that leadership position. And then Officer Yannick up there, we appreciate our partnership with the police department, and he is an honorary deputy that was acknowledged in last May. That was pretty special. We really appreciate that relationship. And then our Purple Star Generals, you can see the flag raising ceremony and just all the different community members that were able to be a part of that. The Rouge de Boeuf parade where we marched in that. And then the bottom corner over there, we go over to Story Point once a month and have had, gosh, probably past 6 or 7 years, we've gone over there once a month with our first grade classroom. So they used to come to us, but post-COVID, we go to them. and even throughout the summer. And that's been really important and I think really meaningful for both parties. It's mutually beneficial for so many reasons that we're able to go and be a part of that community there. A walk to school, being in the neighborhood has so many perks. We're able to do walk to schools and bike to school and have police and fire that support us on those events. And then that final picture there is a picture of our land lab, which our students plant in the spring. And then we have a native prairie, which increases the pollinators that come and increase all of the produce and vegetables that we're able to grow. And we have families that sign up for weeks throughout the summer months, and they weed and they water and they pick, and we take all of our fruits and vegetables to local food pantries. And the weather was so nice this fall. We were still picking tomatoes. I think it was like late October, it felt like. So just kind of highlight the kids are always so cute and wonderful, and just really tell the story of all the great things going on. So
I
again,
think it's important to share also that as an elementary principal of Waterville, many of you may not know that Jamie does a great deal of work to receive the designations, to apply for the STEM designation, and the summer school, some of the work that she's able to do. She's always out trying to get grants and provide opportunities for the students, which is absolutely amazing. And she was a finalist in the Principal of the Year for the state of Ohio. So.
Awesome. So, and I also want to mention too about Jamie. When we talk about the summer grant that she and the Waterville Parents Association were able to get, it's probably one of the largest grants we've ever received through that type of application, and then also receiving additional money just recently for that to make that program even better this year. She does a fabulous job in that building, so we can't thank her enough for that. I do want to mention this because this is tomorrow in our district. We have the opportunity to, and it's this job fair that we do has grown significantly. And tomorrow we have our seniors come back. We try to get to 100 employers. I think at the last maybe around 70 or so we had at the last count in our gymnasium. And it's an opportunity for our seniors to interact with those employers and have conversations with them, talk about job prospects, and these are people from Northwest Ohio, businesses and so forth, and the trades and all kinds of different career opportunities for them to explore. And some of our students may find a job opportunity right there and then that they can go on and after they graduate and take advantage of. Some might think about those opportunities and think about their college choices, for their majors. And some might even go into the military based on these conversations. And so it's an opportunity to expose them to those individuals. But also what we've done this time as well is we're inviting parents to come and talk to them about these opportunities and have them have an opportunity to come in with their students and walk and talk with these employers. And then we have a program for them afterwards. But also we've invited some of our former graduates who maybe they went off to college and they weren't successful as far as graduating and they're just not sure what they want to do. They can come back as well in the evening here and get some exposure to these employers as well. We just found this as an opportunity to not only inform our students, but what can we do to help our fellow graduates that may be seeking employment as well. We started our career development very early, even at the primary building. I can remember we had this little general one time, and I remember that general getting a little picture taken on an F-16 from the air base, and just things like that, right, where we get the kids involved in exploring opportunities through their parents and job opportunities and those discussions, even at the primary level, and then we advance that through each building and develop that further to the point of getting them to the high school, and hopefully they have a better idea of what they want to do moving forward. One of the things I'll just mention is to do all of that, it takes funds to do that. And the great thing about what we do in our district is we're very conscientious and try to take conservative financial practices and place them, within the district and try to have a clean audit, as we talked about earlier. The great thing is that we have one of the lowest operating expenses per pupil in Lucas County. We're very proud of the fact that we have the lowest school taxes in Lucas County per $100,000 of home value. And we have the lowest, one of the things that we're trying to look at, obviously right now, is our funding, and we have the lowest funding per pupil in Lucas County. But we try to stay off the ballot. We've had when we talk about operational funds, we've had 3 operational funds pass in the last 32 years. And I think that's a testament when you see other districts that are on the ballot every couple of years. We've had 3 in the last 32. And the last one was 2013. So I just wanted to mention that as a part of what we do. It takes a village to pull resources together. It takes a city, a village, townships to do that. And we appreciate all of our community and the partnership that we have. We have plenty of resources and information on our website. Feel free to browse that. And there's tons of information on there. But I will also share that we try to do a lot to promote the great things that are going on in our school district. But we can't thank you guys enough for inviting us here to talk about these things, but also just the partnership that we have to do what we do for these young adults, or soon to be young adults in our communities, and the graduates, and walking across that stage, hopefully ready for their future, because that's our goal. So thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you very much. Council, I know you might have a comment or two. I do, but I'll start with Wayne Wagner. Tony?
So I think a number that hit me at the meeting at the school was the cost to put a child kindergarten through high school is how much?
So right now we're about $13,500 per year.
$13,500.
Yes,
Okay.
which is about 3,000 or so less than the state average.
So on an average $300,000 house, the taxes that house will pay, it will take how long for them to recover that? It's about 14 years.
Yeah, it's a while. It's
Yeah.
a while, yeah.
So the reason I mention that is there is, you guys do have this levy coming up, and I don't have, my last kid is graduating, and I'm thinking about this, right? Okay, well, I don't have any kids in school, but then I think about, our great school system and the value it brings to our house, one. Then I also think about, wait, I'm invested here. I'm 38 years into this, right? So, I'd like everyone to think about that, how long it takes to actually pay for that student.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys for doing the great job.
I appreciate that. I think it's an investment, when we all pay taxes, right, if we're a landowner. It's an investment in our economic prosperity, really, because we're investing in kids, preparing them for their future, and we want them to stay here. We want them to come back here. I was at the high school today, and there were 3 former graduates who went back. They went to college to become teachers, and now they're subbing for us, wanting jobs, right? And how many people come back? We see a lot of that come back to Anthony Wayne, and I think it's an investment in our economics as well.
I agree. Thank you.
Mary?
Thank you so much.
So I'll close by saying thank you for taking time from your schedule to be here. I know you work all day long and night activities, but I just want to close by saying I want to thank the great administration that's here today, the support staff, the cafeteria, the maintenance workers, the bus drivers. It goes on, and I think they really have some of the coolest teachers around. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we will have one more update. We are pleased to have our friends from the village of White House with us tonight, Mayor Richard Bingham, and he's going to come up to the microphone with Luann, and they've got a couple comments. So welcome, White House, to the great city of Waterville, Ohio.
Give me my address.
Yes, please.
9715 Belmont Circle. That's in White House. The reason I'm here tonight to introduce myself, I'm the new mayor of the Village of White House. I brought our council president with us, Luann Arteaga. One of the reasons I'm here is your mayor laid the gauntlet down last Tuesday night and came to our meeting. So I kind of felt compelled to come tonight to introduce myself as well as Luann. A couple things about me. A lot of you don't know, I know you have some new council people here. I actually grew up in Waterville. My wife did as well. We met each other here. We've been together for 40 years coming up in May, married for 38. I am a proud graduate of Anthony Wayne High School. I did actually class of 1985. I'm not the age of myself. But I'm a strong supporter of our schools as well. I think my time at Anthony Wayne prepared me for a 38-year law enforcement career. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. And I probably would not be standing here tonight as the mayor of the great village of White House without it. I appreciate Mr. Wagner reached out to me via email. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. A couple of things that's going on in White House. We're starting some new programs that started in January. One is community outreach, and one of those things is our bringing back our White House Community Easter Egg Hunt. I invite all of you to it. Kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, please. We have over 3,000 eggs with candy and prizes in them. It is March 16th at 11 a.m. behind our Legion post. I'm to understand that the Easter Bunny will be there at around 10:30. So if you want to come and see him, he will be there as well. A little bit of makeup of our council so you guys are aware of it. We have 4 brand new council members. That's the first time in the history of White House. Okay? And one of our other council person has only been there less than 2 years. So the only one with any seniority is Miss Luann. So we are starting new. Change is good. I'm looking forward to working with the people that we are. Things are going well. Hopefully we'll have some good news here shortly. One of the things and one of the reasons I'm here tonight is not only to introduce myself, but to lay down a challenge to all of you, as I will do with my council. If there's any way that you think that we can work together cooperatively and any program that can save your taxpayers money as well as ours. Our fire co-op is working extremely well, as well as the cemetery district. There's got to be other ways that we can merge our resources and save our taxpayers money. And that's what Luann and I are here tonight, to find out in the future, if any of you come up with anything, please contact me or Luann so we could kind of work on that. Tim and I are in contact frequently in regards to both communities, so we do work well together. And I look forward to working with all of you here in the near future. And I'll let Luann.
On behalf of the White House Council, we would like to thank Waterville for being such great neighbors that they have been over the years. And Rich mentioned that we have almost all brand new council people, but even those coming in recognize the value of the partnership between White House and Waterville over the last few years with forming the Union Cemetery District, the fire co-op that has gained statewide recognition and everybody in the state wants to copy what they did. So kudos for both of those programs. And council realizes that in order for our citizens to get the most out of the benefits from the communities, that we need to partner and working together. And so we are very much in tune to that and grateful for the existing relationship that we have now and are extremely looking forward to what we can do in the future. Thank you.
You guys have any questions for us?
Council, Mary?
Like that?
No, welcome. Good to see you.
Todd?
Welcome. No, all good. Thank you.
Tony? Wayne? The only thing I'll comment, your administrator, Jordan, I saw him having breakfast in Dale's in Waterville.
He
I just
told
want
me
you
at
to.
my meeting today. Yeah, he talked to me. It's at Dale's, right?
Yeah,
Busted.
yeah. No, it's great to have you here, and you're certainly welcome to stay as long as you like, but you know, you probably got other activities.
Important
But
things.
thank you.
I appreciate
We
it.
will continue our dialogue.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Alrighty. Next, we have an approval of our minutes from our regular council meeting from Monday, February 12th, 2024. All had a chance to receive those and look them over. Need a motion to accept the minutes from February 12th, 2024.
So moved.
So moved, Wayne Wagner, and I'll give a second from
Second, Todd Borowski.
Todd Borowski. Any discussion?
I would just like to point out on page 3 that Mr. Bruno seconded the motion, not Mrs. Bruno.
Okay.
Not a problem.
You thought Barb was here again, all right. Okay, with that correction noted, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from Monday, February 12, 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Thank you. Next, we have citizens' comments, and I do have a few up here, so bear with me for a minute. We have 3, and we will ask Terry Masucci to come to the microphone. She has a great announcement to make, a fun announcement to make. I think I did.
First time.
Did you listen?
First time in
He's been practicing.
I've been practicing. Terry Masucci.
Well, hi, good evening. You all have a packet in front of you for the scavenger hunt. This will start March 1st. Sorry, you can't hear me. In 14 different businesses, there's going to be eggs like this. And I have to say, calling this year was pretty exciting because we had some of the prior ones, and we picked some new ones of new businesses, ones that weren't involved last year, and they knew what I was talking about. This is only the second one we've had, so I was pretty excited to hear, like, we know what you're talking about, and yes, we want to play. So that was pretty cool. So they followed the clues, which was on page 2. They just matched the number on the egg to the clue, and then they turn it into the library. They get a small treat. Everybody that plays wins some sort of treat. And then this begins, will preclude to the Easter egg hunt. So it'll lead into that, which is on March 23rd from 9 to 11 at Conrad Park. The mayor has graciously volunteered to pick the winners of the scavenger hunt, because there'll be prizes. Those that are involved will be giving out prizes. And then to thank the local sponsors, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have almost 3,000, well, we have 1,600 eggs and almost another 1,400 in novelty prizes that will be scattered throughout the different age brackets from 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and then 8 and above. And I have stayed under budget. Yay. Thanks to basically to a lot of the businesses out here that donated. Ohio Paint and Drywall, who's going to donate the donuts this year. Blue Sky Restorations and Anthony Wayne Auto Spa, who both gave me quite a bit of money to fund the prizes for the hunt, the scavenger hunt, and candy for inside the eggs. Wayne Wagner, who is donating the hot chocolate, and he bought 2 10-gallon dispensers and a bullhorn for the event and for other events that we'll have throughout the year for the city. And then also 1,000 eggs. And then above the 1,000 eggs, the residents of Waterville donated the rest, which was awesome to have everybody come forward like that. I can't name all the sponsors that I would love to thank because it would give away all the answers to all the clues. I want to thank the Easter Bunny that's going to be coming to the Easter egg hunt in advance, and Mary Duncan, Jenny, the mayor, the fire department, and if I forgot anybody, I'll catch you next time. Just wanted to also thank the residents. We're going to have an Easter egg stuffing party at the library on March 6th from 5:30 to 8. And we have like 10 plus volunteers that are coming to stuff eggs for 2.5 hours. And then just lastly, I want to just say thank you and to support your local businesses, because without this, the events that we're planning couldn't be as successful as they are. And on that note, Bree, were you coming up to?
Go ahead.
We wanted to talk about, yes, we wanted to talk about.
Plans for our Eclipse event and hoping to add some entertainment to the event. We did find a DJ
Could you just start over, give us your name? There you go, thank you.
Your address.
I didn't even tell you who I was.
Bria Wise.
Sorry, they can't hear you.
Bria Wise.
I'm messing with you now.
Do I really need to like scream into this thing?
Yeah, pretty
Can you
much.
hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
341 Hickory Lane. Are we good?
Yep.
So we would like to add some entertainment to the event. We were hoping if we'd be able to get funding to cover the entertainment. We'd like a DJ and a photo booth, probably nearby the church if that's possible. They were looking like they were going to be around 300 to 500, but at the most 500.
And that's pretty much what I saved with the Easter egg hunt.
No pressure.
We have met a couple times at the elementary school, and luckily the Waterville United Methodist Church teamed up with us and presented an idea because there was where would we hold this event? So they teamed up and had a great idea. Let's have it at our place. And the fire chief was there. So we got the place at Prairie Park figured out. We're going to do some chalk painting, or chalk drawing, and then Bree came up with the ideas of having, the photo booth. We're trying to figure out a few more activities to keep them busy. It's only from 2 to 4, so it's only a 2-hour window. So we'd like some permission to have
The photo
like
booth kind of comes along with the DJ. It's like a package deal. But
So-
they were willing to give us a pretty good price on it.
So I would suggest, because this is right around the corner, Council, do you have specific questions or why we may not want to support this? So, John, we need a motion to spend up to $500. Is that what we should do? I make a motion that we support this great community event. What I like about it is you included the elementary school, or they included you, vice versa. But I got the library involved, you got businesses involved, and some citizens, and so I think it's a worthwhile event. So I move that we spend donate up to $500 for the Eclipse event. I need a second.
Second?
Second, Mary Duncan. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
you.
Thank you. Next up, we have two citizens, and we'll start with ladies first. Sue Frosch, if you want to come to the microphone and state your name and address, please.
My name is Sue Frosch, 378 Overlook Drive.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mayor Petro, council, neighbors. The subject of my problem, I'm sure you are aware, is the Buffalo Rock Brewery. And it's a thing that we've been dealing with for the last couple warm seasons. Winter is no problem. Warm is a serious problem. And the police department has been very cooperative with us as far as trying to take care of the noise that comes from the brewery. They are supposed to adhere to, the ordinance says, acoustical music only and inside, no outside music, but because it's garage doors, they lift up all the garage doors and every bit of noise from the entertainment, which is amplified, not acoustic, and then the conversation, because they're sitting behind the brewery, the conversation gets louder than the music. We can understand conversation that goes on at the brewery because it's behind the brewery. And we would just like to ask for the help of council to ask the people at the brewery if they would just keep that back door closed so that we could enjoy leaving our windows open and enjoy our backyard during the warm weather, because we can't. 2 days a week we can enjoy our backyard. And we like to be outside just as much as everybody else. And they're not adhering to the ordinance, and I just feel that it would be very helpful if council could in some way help us because as soon as the patrol car shows up, they shut the back door and it's quiet. But prior to that, they don't worry about anybody else, not us. It's not just us, it's our neighbors as well. And we would just like to have some help in getting that taken care of before the warm weather starts, so that we could enjoy our house, which we've not been able to do for the last 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June that we moved here. And the first year, we thought, well, we talked to our neighbors and asked if this was something that went on all the time. And they said, of course it is. And then we would call for police help and they'd send an officer over. And that's how it's been. They've been very helpful to us. But that doesn't help us, because it's not just the noise from the entertainment. It's motorcycles ramming their engines all the time. And they just sit in the back of the brewery and that's what they do. And it's not that we have any problem with a brewery. It's an open bar all summer long. It's an outside bar, and we've been to breweries. We're not against a brewery, but it's just an outside, loud, annoying bar. And we would like to get some help to get it resolved so that we aren't constantly using our officers to have them go shut the back door or settle it down, because it's just, and we have decided that if something isn't done, for them to just comply with the ordinance, that we will seek legal counsel. And we don't want to do that, but it's gotten to that point where we don't sleep. My husband's a veteran, and he says there's no excuse for this. And there isn't any excuse for it, because like I say, we're not against a brewery, because we have frequented some breweries in Toledo, in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, quite a few of them, and they're good, but not when it's an outside bar all summer long. And that's what it is. It's not just a brewery, it's an outside bar. So we would appreciate any help you could come up with.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We have another speaker or citizen, and Leo Frosch, if you could come to the microphone, please. State your name and address.
Okay, my name is Leo Frosch, and I live at 378 Overlook Drive here in Waterville. Mayor Tim, council members, friends and family, neighbors. The only thing that I would like to add to what my wife said, she covered it very well, is the frustration, and my question is, why are they allowed to continue to operate without enforcing that ordinance that is right here in front of me that specifically says acoustic music only? And if you look at any dictionary, the first thing it is non-amplified. But it doesn't, and I've been here, this is the third time I've been here since we moved here. I come here every spring before all those doors come open and all the people show up, and it's an outdoor beer fest every night of the week, except on Sunday and Monday. That is the 2 nights that I am allowed to go in my backyard and have peace and quiet, sit on my 3 Seasons room or my beautiful patio. I've invited Mary to come over. I even tried to entice her with a margarita. I heard she did finally show up. The next door neighbor said that she showed up in front of the house one day.
Oh, more than once.
Well, more than once, okay.
Definitely
Well,
more than
I
once.
appreciate.
You were looking out the window at me one day, and I thought, oh, she thinks I'm here to cause trouble.
Strange cars.
I appreciate the effort, but you have to understand our frustration. We shouldn't have to call a nuisance report. Night after night, I'll call, oh, somebody's already called that in. It's craziness. And I feel like I'm being discriminated against. The mental stress that this has put on me, I don't sleep good at night. I got this stuff going through my mind. And I don't know what else to do, because I told her, if somebody doesn't reach out and help us, then we're going to have to get legal counsel, and I don't know whether they're going to say, sue the brewery, sue the city. I don't know. but this is extremely frustrating, and it seems like nobody wants to help us. So, I guess with that said, I could probably think of a lot of other things to say, but at the moment.
All right,
I
well,
think they're pretty
we thank you, and just for the record, I did speak to Sue and Leo the other day at breakfast, so I'm still on my assignment, and I told you.
As far as Joe has been helpful. Stuart and I have sat in his office on numerous occasions out of frustration of this brewery.
All right,
And nothing ever gets done.
all right, thank you.
Is it because they have a lot of money that they're paying into the city that I'm a nobody, or how does that work?
Allow us to take your comments from the other day and today, and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, those are the last citizens' comments, so we will move on from there. And we will start with our administrator report. John?
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. I wanted to mention a couple things. The Public Works Director and I had a pre-construction meeting with Midwest Contracting, who is our contractor for the Phase 3 of the Parker Square Improvement Project. The weather is cooperating with us, so we're going to try to start work the week of March 18th, and then if the project stays on schedule, we would be substantially complete by August 18th, 2024. The city did get some complaints about not having any trash receptacles or what we call mutt mitts, and we had a meeting with the property owners along the shared use path on Prairie Boulevard between Waterville, Montclova, and 64. So we're working on getting permission from the property owners, the private property owners, to put our mutt mitt stations and our trash receptacles in certain areas of the shared use path. Lastly, I wanted to announce that our unlimited pickup days for 2024 for the spring. The first one is Saturday, April 20th in Area A. The second one in the spring is Saturday, April 27th in Area B. The fall unlimited pickups are Saturday, October 12th in Area A, and then Saturday, October 19th in Area B.
Questions for the administrator? All right, we will move on to our law director.
Very briefly, Your Honor, it would appear I'm going to be 76 on June 26th, and I know our last meeting is the 24th. After 50 years of public service, I think I may take a break. So,
Just for a week, or?
well, I don't know how long I'll make it, but hopefully for quite a few days. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Our finance director.
Thank you all for the gratitude that you showed for the auditor's statement. Appreciate that. I have two reports to cover this evening. One being the January finance report. So each of you should have that. In that report, our fund balance on page 5 provides a good comparison to the prior month and year. Compared to January of 2023, our fund balance is up $756,815.55. Our fund balance compared to December of 23 is down $80,929.85. And a brief explanation of that would be the reason it's declined is we've had some pretty significant expenditures for some of the projects, and I know you've all heard this before, some of the projects that we have been working on. So, and you know, to identify a few of those, we had paid some debt as well through OPWC. The Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, Norris Services, we paid that annual contract. The FET Construction Services Standby Generator Project, we spent $60,000 on that thus far. And then the Canal Road Water Line and Farnsworth Park Storm Sewer Replacement was pretty significant at $144,464. So that's pretty much what's driven. Obviously, our revenues were stable through the month, and we've only declined after those types of expenditures by $81,000. Our reader report on page 14 through 16 reports the January RETA activity. We discussed that at a prior meeting. Page 17 through 19 reports the February RETA activity. In February, there was an increase of $19,414. Not as significant of an increase as in January. So in January, we were at 13.19% ahead of last year. That lower February amount has brought us down to about 7.5%. So at this time, 7.3%. At this time of year, I don't think that's substantial to worry about at this juncture. I know somebody usually asks me, are we going to be okay? And he's not here tonight. So, does anyone have any questions on the finance report?
Mary?
No, I'm good.
Todd?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of answered my question. I saw the 11,200 to criminal justice. That's an annual payment to?
That is for, I believe that's for continuing education for the police
For the
department.
police department, okay, great. All right, that's it, thanks.
Tony?
No questions, sir.
Wayne? I don't have any. Thank you, Mark, and congratulations again on a nice recognition, so thank you.
Thank you for that. I do have another report.
Go right ahead.
And that would be the fourth quarter budget report. And that was approved by the Finance Committee recently on February 16th. The memo and you should have that report as well. The memo at the beginning of the report identifies some of the more pertinent revenue and expenditure line items for the general fund and related percentage of actual activity to budgeted amounts. It's also true for the capital projects fund. It gets a little bit more detailed for those two funds. Otherwise, the memo reports the percentage of actual to budget by fund. Okay. So total revenues for all funds resulting at the end of the year were $13,975,373, which was 89.78% of the budget. Total expenditures for all funds in 2023 were $13,314,013 at 83% of the budget. In 2023, revenues have exceeded expenditures by $661,360. Page 28 of that report identifies the general fund balance, which is at $5,844,635. That is well above the 2 to 3 month average of general fund expenditures, and this is important because it represents a strong financial position for possible future note and or bond issues. Page 29 of the report is a summary sheet of all funds budgeted versus actual revenues and expenditures, so it gives you everything. And page 30 of the report is a recap of the general fund, both personnel and operating expenses. If anyone has any questions on the budget report, please.
Nope.
All good? All right, thank you. Next, Steve Schultz, our treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor, member of council.
Talk right in there.
Yeah, right in there. I need to give my address. We do have January reconciled. You all have a copy of my report. Very brief. As our award-winning finance director mentioned, we have about $11 million in the account at the end of January. Obviously, January is way too early to look at any trends. We usually are down about 100,000, 200,000 from the end of the year in January, so it's nothing unusual. And you'll see a lot of our funds up a little, down a little. No major trends to notice at this point in time. So nothing of concern for me at this point in time. So that's the end of my report.
Council, questions for Steve?
Good. Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right, thanks, Steve. Next is our police chief.
Evening, Mayor and Council. A few things to add to my report. You should have, polar dip was on January 1st. There was approximately 50 to 75 people. No issues to report. The event went smoothly. Safety City is July 15th through the 19th. Registrations are coming in, room for 60 kids, and they are going to do pre-kindergarten and kindergarten this year. Combination of both.
Good.
Today, Mr. Gokenauer and I interviewed a police candidate to fill one of the 2 vacant positions. Patrol car was ordered last week. We're looking for delivery date of late fall. And we did receive a grant for $17,000 through the Attorney General's office for the first payment out of 5 for our new body cameras that we're supposed to get this year. So that'll cover this year's cost. That's all I have.
Questions for the chief?
Should
Wayne?
we ask questions about the budget now or later?
Maybe during the budget time. Is that
Okay.
all right?
Yeah, either way, you can come back.
Okay.
No questions.
All right, we will move on. Thanks, Joe. Next is our fire chief.
I'll be pretty quick, but I don't think I can beat that. Good evening. That was pretty quick. You have a copy of my report. I also just wanted to make mention, we'll be going to that In-Demand Career Day at Anthony Wayne. I will miss the morning session, but we'll be there for the evening session. We have a co-op table, so White House will be there for the morning one, so at least we'll still be able to hand stuff out and draw attention if we need to. So we'll be there making a presence there. We also are in the process of looking for more part-timers, so that process is underway as well. And we've also posted for a couple of full-timers in anticipation for the EMS contract that we'll be taking over. Other than that, don't have anything else to add at this time unless you guys have something for me.
Questions for the chief, Mary?
You met with Perrysburg about
Yes,
fireworks?
yes.
What's that
So,
about?
met with Aaron Harwell there, what they call a fire marshal for their department, to discuss many different things from contractors to site relocation if we were to want to move to a different area in the city, how that would affect us and what we would need to do to accomplish that. So getting some ideas from him, also getting ideas if we were to use multiple municipalities because they do it combined with Maumee. So just trying to get different ideas that if things need to change in the future that we're not behind the 8 ball, that we're ahead of it. So just to collect some ideas and report back to Mr. Dokenauer on some things that they do, just to see what the difference is.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? I will just add, I'll get back to you. I was approached by another entity about fireworks for 25, so it was just a quick phone call, so I gotta get back to that person. I'll let you know what happens there. Alrighty, thank you. Next, we're not gonna have a report from Kenny Blair unless, John, you got an update for Public Works?
Thank you, Mayor. I did want to mention that one of our projects that we've been working on is our standby generator project, and both generators have been delivered. They've been set. The one at Public Works, they actually were working to switch it on and off and get it up and running. And then in terms of the municipal building, we're going to have to do that on a Saturday. You know, we got to keep the building open for the public during the day, and it is still winter. I mean, believe it or not, but so you know, the lights got to be on and the building's got to be open. So we'll be scheduling that for hopefully this Saturday. We had some citizens in the community volunteer, and they put up an ice rink, and unfortunately the weather didn't cooperate there, so the Public Works Department took down the rink. That's being stored, and hopefully we can get it out next year, and if we have more winter weather next year. So.
Alrighty. Next is communications from council, and we'll start with Vice Mayor Mary Duncan.
No report this evening, Your Honor.
We'll go on to Todd Borowski.
No report.
Anthony Garber.
No report, sir.
Wayne Wagner. Well, I'm going to break the record then. Just a couple maybe comments. I want to recognize our Chamber of Commerce Director here, Michelle Smith, in the back. Thank you for attending. Michelle and I have been talking off and on, and she is making a point to attend as many council members as possible. And I do try to get to as many of the chamber meetings as possible as well. And I understand Mr. Garver went to the last luncheon, so thank you. They're a great event if council members are able to attend the luncheons. They're great speakers, good food, and good fellowship, and it's a good way to learn about what's going on in the chamber. The other thing is when Councilmember Wagner and Garver joined us back in November, a couple days after the election, we met at a transition, and I would happily say that we are continuing the transition. I do talk to Wayne and Tony, not every day, but almost every day, about what's going on, and I think that's a good sign of trying to learn. One thing that we talked about was some official training or formal training for council members, and the Ohio Municipal League has some training going on. It's not exactly the best, or the apples to apples, if you will, but it's a good framework, and so I've given Tony and Wayne the opportunity to attend a Saturday session. I also would invite council members, if you would like to participate, we certainly would encourage that from the Ohio Municipal League, so that's something to be thinking about. And then we talked about the solar eclipse already. Thanks to that committee that's working on that. Thanks to Terry and her team on the Easter egg roll and activities. And wasn't that a nice presentation by the Anthony Wayne Schools? Very well done, very factual data, and gives you a chance to know what's going on. We got great family members here with their their young adults involved in the schools, so that's great to have that second generation, probably even third generation back at our school. Even the mayor of White House talked about his upbringing. Alrighty, we will move on to old business, ordinance 1323, an ordinance adopting the annual appropriations for the municipality of Waterville for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2024, and repealing ordinance number 1423 and declaring an emergency. The first reading was scheduled and held on December the 11th, 2023. Second reading and public hearing was scheduled and held on January the 8th, 2024, and the third reading and legislative action was scheduled for January 22nd, 2024. Since then, it's been tabled, and it's back on the agenda today. John, would you please elaborate?
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a revised operating budget, so this is our second revision after the first presentation to council, and that was on December 11th, 2023. We did make some, I guess, some minor changes from our last meeting. Approximately $106,600, and we added. We had to increase the transfer from the general fund to the parks fund to cover the Parker Square development, and we discussed that at a prior meeting. We added to our transfer to the fire levy fund from the general fund, and that was approximately $35,000. We always have to pre-fund our 5-year capital with sometimes a transfer from the general fund, and that was $213,000. As we do more projects, you know, we have to increase our pre-funding, so that was done there. We did add some spending for our roadway paving, engineering, maintenance projects, and that was an additional $143,000. The police department had a purchase that was approved in 2023, and that was for ballistic helmets, and they wanted to go with another vendor, so the carryover purchase order from 2023, we had to close that, and council would have to reappropriate money for that, but that's actually a net savings of $650 by doing that, but that had to be added to the police department public capital budget. And then we also looked at our costs last year in regards to our, I guess I would call it our sewer bill that the city pays to Lucas County, and we did have to add a little bit there for our debt service for the sewer fund. We received our first debt service for 2024, and I just kind of noticed that we should add a little bit to that. And then we did also have some anticipated increase in healthcare costs, so we added that to the budget. According to the city charter, council adoption of the 2024 operating budget has to be completed by March 1st, 2024.
In other words, we're not leaving until we get this thing passed. Any questions for the administrator on this latest update? Mary, did you have some questions on the fire? Or excuse me, police?
You know, I guess I don't have to go into that tonight. We will probably be making some adjustments to the budget as we go through it anyways this year. I just think we need to anticipate that there will be additions.
Right.
So.
And that's safe to say that we do try to, John gives us the best shot, the best information available. Things change and we make adjustments throughout the year, but this is a good framework. And now that we've got even a little bit more up-to-date information, and of course I'm always happy to hear roadway funding is increased rather.
Yep.
Any other questions for the administrator?
One of the things that stuck out, and you and I talked a little bit last year because of the 50th anniversary of the Rooster Booth, we spent or budgeted $31,706, and this year we're down to $3,500. So, being that we maybe revisit it, I'd like to see more money for the Rooster Booth Festival.
Yeah, I think Councilmember Wagner and I discussed that, and we've had informal discussion with the chamber. I think they're generating their plans, and I'm sure they'll be back with a plan that we could look at. So, good point. We'll adjust that accordingly, because it is a good community event, and we want to be supportive of that. Anything else, Council? All right. So, I need a motion to accept ordinance number 1323.
So moved.
So moved. Mary Duncan. Need a second?
Second.
Second. Tom Borowski. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay, our budget did pass. And I need to move for the final passage of ordinance number 1323, first and final reading as an emergency measure. Need a second?
Second.
Mary Duncan. Roll call?
Yes.
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 Alrighty. Next on, moving on to new business, a resolution 0724, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award a contract to Technical for professional services for the display of fireworks in the city of Waterville. I did speak to the administrator earlier today. I'll let him elaborate, but we may table this tonight. John, can you give us an update?
Thank you, Mayor. We've been trying to get our fireworks vendor scheduled for 2024, and we had 3 or 4 vendors turn us down, but later today I got another phone call from a person that I tried to contact last week, and they finally got back to me. So we might have another proposal to look at, so I guess I would request we could table this until the next meeting. Unfortunately, it looks like both proposals would be for the weekend, so it would be July 5th or 6th. Can't get anyone to commit to the 4th.
So that's Friday the 5th or Saturday the 6th?
Correct.
Okay. On the weekend? All right, so I don't think we need to do anything in terms of tabling that. Just leave it on the agenda, right?
John, do you think we would lose those dates the longer we wait, or, okay?
I think so.
Because those, the 5th and 6th are actually great dates.
You know, it's kind of a long holiday weekend, I
Yep.
guess you could say, but, you know, I know council has always, like to have it on the 4th, and, you know, we always try to have it on the 4th, but, those are the dates that we're working on.
Okay, great.
Is
Thank you.
Pyrotechnical, is that who we used last year?
We used Zambelli fireworks
Zambelli.
last year. We've used Pyrotechnical before, American fireworks, so.
But Zambelli turned us down.
Right.
So maybe back to Todd's comment, should we pass a resolution tonight, leave it open-ended that council's okay with the 5th or the 6th, but you can then move on accordingly. Does that sound reasonable?
That sounds good.
All right, so I need a motion to accept resolution 0724, authorize the municipal administrator to award a contract to be determined? Because we don't know who it's going to be yet, right?
Well, if you'd like to, I guess, you know, give the blessing for July 5th or 6th, and then we can table this and then bring it up at the next
Okay.
meeting for, to see what the other proposal is, and hopefully we can finalize something at the next meeting.
All right, then maybe I can restate that. Resolution 0724 should read, a resolution authorizing the municipal administrator to award to set up a contract with a firm for either July 5th or 6th, and you'll come back to council with the proposal. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, other information on unscheduled business. I have one item, but I'll go around the room. Wayne?
I'm good.
Tony?
I'm good, sir.
And Todd?
Good.
I'll decide that.
Nothing this evening. Your Honor.
The last thing on my list is we've had a lot of communication over the last several months. A lot of, I will say, non-factual information that the mayor gets frequently. And I try my best to respond with factual information. Staff have been spending a lot of time, unnecessarily, in my opinion, on unnecessary responses to communication from citizens that I think they know the answer to the questions, they know the answer to the issues, but continuously causing a lot of time and energy to take away from the activities the council should be doing in administration. So I guess my request is that the council and the administration will always respond to messages from our citizens. Generally, I get those. The council might get them, but generally they come to me and I try to answer them on behalf of council to have a consistent message. And so council, likewise, when they get a message, they send it to me, and at least I know what is taking place. But I am here today to ask you, citizens, that if you have a concern, obviously raise the flag, ring the bell, but we can't have continuous information requested. It's causing time and energy away from the good part of Waterville. And I think I've answered those questions, and I tried my best to be fair and square, but that's just a general comment. So with that said, I thank you for listening, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
So moved, Mary Duncan, need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.